Sometimes in life, when you open a door, it can be rather difficult to close it. The examples are almost endless, and when you give in to a cat or decide to make a decision about their living situation and living space, it can be incredibly difficult to close that door, to undo that decision. It's bad enough when you have to go back on your word with another person, that difficult task of putting the toothpaste back in the tube. It's even harder when you're dealing with a cat, a pet who just doesn't understand why the green light was given for so long and now they're being met with a stop sign. Your bed, your decision to share your bed with your pet, it can be a good thing for a while, perhaps a long while. But if the day comes where you no longer think this arrangement is a positive one, the outcome could be a bit tricky and leave your cat rather confused. In today's material, we'll talk about several actions that your cat could potentially make when you decide that your bed is off limits. We'll talk about alternative locations, your cat's general behavior after the fact, and that dreaded adjustment period that could be met with mixed results. Telling a cat that something is okay and then changing your mind, that's a tough hill to climb as an owner. Your bed, your cat, and that sudden stop sign. Interesting topic and hopefully an educational one. I've got you covered. Stay tuned. While this topic is about your decision to no longer make your bed available for your cat to enjoy, the aftermath of this decision, well, it'll pretty much mirror any time or any other time when you've had to reverse course on a decision with your cat. If anyone in the audience has children, I'll suggest that dealing with your cat in this manner, you'll likely be ahead of the class simply because you do have kids. How many times have you given the seal of approval to your child and then later on had to display that stop sign? It's not easy for a youngster to understand why they're no longer able to do something. In that moment, you're faced with the aftermath, and likely a rather confused and upset kid. Your cat? The same thing. Once you make your bed off limits, they'll be in the aftermath. However, understanding what comes next and how to handle it can put you ahead of the game. The first thing to recognize is that there will be a period of adjustment, perhaps a lengthy period of adjustment. So much will likely depend on the age of your pet, how long your cat has been allowed to access your bed, and your cat's overall personality. Some felines, just like some people, have a harder time taking no for an answer. Those first few nights, those first few weeks, your cat is probably going to expect access to your bed. They'll still attempt to seek it out. However, if you're holding firm on your decision, it's important to simply expect your cat to make a play for your bed, and it's also important for you to stand your ground, dishing out a bit of tough love. It'll be hard to reject your pet, especially if the decision has nothing to do with their behavior, but rules are rules, and it's important to enforce those rules each and every time. In the big picture, this will help your cat to understand these new expectations. Now, once you have given your cat that closed door, perhaps literally and figuratively, and they realize the bed is off limits, they'll naturally seek out other measures of relaxation, new places to explore. Those hours in your bed, your cat will now attempt to fill that time with another napping spot. This is why, as an owner, it's important to be proactive and simply outsmart your cat a bit. Beat them to the punch by preparing a new spot, a new napping area that meets their needs and also meets your approval. If your bed was essentially taking the place of a dedicated sleep area for your cat, it'll be important to set up a new spot for your pet. Showing your cat this new location, allowing them to check it out and get comfortable. Having somewhere else to go, somewhere safe, it'll make the transition much easier for everyone involved. Your cat will likely spend that new free time being curious about their new area and less curious about your bedroom and what they can do in an effort to get back in your bed. Something else that could happen to your cat now that the bed is off limits, and that's more roaming time. Because while you'd love for your cat to trade your bed in for their new napping spot, they're not going to be relaxing all the time and certainly not all night long. If your bed was the primary overnight spot, be prepared for some night roaming. Let this serve as a reminder to keep questionable items and objects out of high-traffic areas. The last thing you want for your cat to do is knock something over, especially during the night when you're not around while you're asleep. Nothing is foolproof, but always make the responsible effort to make sure your home is safe for feline roaming. Now let's talk behavior, just general overall behavior, especially in that short term. When the bed is off limits after the green light was given for so long, your cat's confusion could be coupled with aggression. Your cat can get quite upset, meowing during those night hours, knocking things over. Now, hopefully this won't happen, but like a child, cats can throw some temper tantrums from time to time. And the bed now being off limits, don't be shocked if such action takes a little bit of shine off the diamond with respect to how your cat views you. Certainly not suggesting that all trust will be lost, but your cat could be rather upset, especially if the resting spot in your bed was something your pet really looked forward to and enjoyed very much. Of course, when you do speak about a topic like this, it begs the question, should cats sleep on the bed at all? I mean, you could just avoid all of this if you put your foot down in the first place, right? Well, in my opinion, and I've shared this many times over the course of many videos here on the channel, there is no judgment. As long as you are acting in a responsible manner and making sure that all of your cat's essential needs are being met, as long as your cat is safe under your care, that's really all that matters. Beyond that, everything is simply personal preferences and your unique style of ownership. That's my personal take. The question of your bed and if your cat should even be on it in the first place, that is 100% your decision. On the surface, there's nothing wrong with having a cat sleep on the bed that is meant for humans. Your cat is not in danger by being in your bed, and you personally, unless you have allergies or other personal concerns, having your cat on your bed, well, it's really just your business. Over the course of your ownership journey, you'll likely have to put a stop to many things for whatever the reasons. However, as long as you have that bond of trust with your cat, they'll be more inclined to deal with the news and making a smooth transition to something else simply because they are content while in your care. They trust you. Here on the channel, I often talk about what makes cats anxious and nervous, those changes in the environment. In truth, you could probably take everything that I've said here today and just add it to the list and have it be like a bookend to an existing list that seems to go on forever. The consequences of no longer allowing your cat to sleep in your bed, and there will be consequences, but the degree of those consequences will likely depend on your history of being a responsible owner and the foundation of trust that you've built with your pet. And before I close things out for this topic, regardless of your cat's age, it's always going to be more difficult to close that door, both literally and figuratively, to your bedroom if your cat has had the same routine for a very long time. If your pet has been resting in your bed for years, and then one day, seemingly out of the blue, at least to them, they're no longer allowed to do so, your pet's immediate reaction and the aftermath, things could be in flux for a lot longer compared to making this decision just days after first allowing your cat on your bed. The longer the routine, the longer, logically, it will take for your cat to establish a new normal. So, to the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, is your bed off limits to your cat? Has it always been this way? Or, just like this topic, did you have to make a tough decision one day and it caused some rather tough consequences for your pet? A period of confusion for your cat? Your thoughts as a whole, and of course your personal stories on the matter, that comment section. As always, it's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.